Anyhow, the lads. Welcome everybody to a brand new edition of the Swift Kicks podcast. I'm Alex. With me as always, Steve, Ben, and still sitting top of the league, 12 points clear. Nate did lose the Carabao Cup final, though. Yeah.
You made me laugh just
Steve's
now.
Still 12 points.
Yeah, I was like, we're 12. We're 12 too.
Having a laugh. Ben, it's not all lost for you at Man U. We will get into how 10 teams from the Premier League can still make it into Europe.
10 or 11.
It could be up to 11, I believe. But yeah, at least 10. Minimum of 10. Which is just wild. Steve's shaking his head. He's like, what do we got to do to get one spot in Europe from up in Scotland? But, you know.
What are we doing?
What are we doing? What are we doing here?
Yeah, that scenario that you put in the chat was crazy. I mean, it's not Aston Villa not going to.
No, that's from the Premier League website.
Yeah,
that's not a scenario.
Well, I know, but like it's I mean, it's
a scenario.
That's what has to happen.
Right.
And I think it was like 8 things. Like only one of those things has happened.
Yeah, it's like a crazy parlay that could happen.
Yeah, it's one of Ben's parlays.
Big if true.
Big if true.
Anyway, has anybody seen Mo Salah last seen in Tino Livermorento's pocket? First time ever as a Liverpool player. I didn't know this. No shot on goal and no chance created.
Yes.
I think you asked why. I mean, it's, you know, and by the way, when I saw that Tino finally, Eddie Howe, I don't know what if he ate his Wheaties, finally decided to push Dan Burn into a normal position for a man of his physical build. I was like, oh, damn. And I've liked Livermento. I think he's a Chelsea player. Was it Southampton? And now I've liked him for a long time. I was like, shit, that's a, you know, I mean, Jurel Kwanzaa, you know, fourth string center back by trade, starting right back by necessity. You know, what do you
Liverpool gave me a scare though. 93rd minute.
Yeah, I was kind of checked out by then. But whatever.
Could have been, but it's still kind of surreal as a Newcastle fan. It's like our first domestic trophy in 70 years. I was like watching the Sky Sports feed for this, and it probably was the same for Paramount Plus or whatever, but at the bottom it was just like Newcastle win Carabao Cup. And I was like, when have we ever won a cup? Won anything, to be honest. But won a cup is like a lifetime for, you know, there's so many videos of people sitting there. They were like, this is my grandpa, this is my dad, this is my kid, this is me, you know, like we haven't seen them win anything ever. So it's pretty wild to be able to say that we are champions of something and we qualified for Europe. You get into Europa League, obviously pushing for more, but it's pretty wild. It's
golf clap for Alex, everybody.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a long time. First trophy won by the Saudis. So, you know.
I feel like they could afford a better trophy.
I think you didn't have to say. It's just like, oh, yeah.
I don't know, but we could have. I mean, I don't know. There's so much analysis out there, but it's just a good thing to be a Newcastle fan. To actually win something, like it's.
Aww.
It's just.
I was happy for you, pal.
It's nice. It's nice. And we've had a couple good things this season. Steve's Celtic. They've kind of made it out of the group stage of Champions League. They seem to see a path forward there. Liverpool's top of the league. I mean, Man U, you know, I mean,
hey,
they just
I'm
provide
a Man U jersey tonight.
You're going to get a new stadium. We should talk about that too.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, we're going to win the Europa League.
It's going to look like a circus tent. It's.
I think the jersey looks cool. I think it looks cool.
You think the stadium looks cool? New Man U?
Yeah.
Stadium?
Yeah, I think the stadium looks cool. No one's getting bit by mosquitoes in that piece.
Dude, that's not what. Yeah, I don't think Manchester's known for its mosquito problem.
More gnats.
Malaria eradicated.
Classic United hitting mid-season form in the last 8 games.
Yeah.
Classic United.
I believe we're hitting a international break as well, so we'll talk about Tommy Two Chain's first England squad announcement. Big news for Dan Burn. Big week for Dan Burn. Speaking of, named to the England squad for the first time at the age of 32 after being a bit of a journeyman. Scored the opening goal in the Carabao Cup final for his hometown club.
So you're saying there's a chance.
The hometown club piece is probably being undersold here. Yeah. This is boyhood club, isn't it?
Yeah, no, like he's from from Newcastle.
Right. But it's born and raised there.
I think I heard he
Yeah.
was released at like 11.
Yeah,
And then-
he was.
But that was
he had to,
also
like,
not. I heard
work
he
his
like
way
he,
through lower leagues and stuff.
didn't he score a goal or didn't he make another? That was not his first appearance at Wembley. He's also played there for Yeovil Town.
How has he? That's funny.
Yeah, that's
Why
what I
in,
heard.
like,
yeah,
a
it was
League
it had to have
One
been a
promotion?
League
He's
One or
been there
League
before.
Two promotion. Yeah,
The guy's a legend.
yeah, definitely a legend. Yep.
I shared with you the guy they had on BBC this morning. I pictured that they just found some Geordie at like a roadside stand buying a BAP on his way home from the night out, and he's just like, "I'm not an emotional person," and he goes, "I'm not an emotional person. I didn't cry when I got married, but I cried." And I'm just like, "Yeah, that's a real fan right there." I hope his wife's listening.
There was some guy that called into BBC and he said, "I had a barbecue 31 years ago. I kept a can of Newcastle brown ale to celebrate Newcastle winning the league. We've been through 3 fridges since then. Last night I finally opened it and it tasted strange." 31-year-old Newcastle brown ale.
Oh God.
That's good.
Steve was the caller. I'm just throwing that out there.
How old would you let a beer sit in the fridge before you had to toss it?
There's this
Not one
guy.
of those in out ones that just stays in the fridge the whole time.
Constantly refrigerated. It's just in the garage fridge. It's just.
I think there's this guy on YouTube that I watch. I can't remember his name, but he does stuff like that. He opened a beer. It was like a Super Bowl branded edition beer. I forgot what Super Bowl. It was like from like the 90s. And this video was made like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And he poured it into a see-through glass, and it's enough to just like.
Do you normally have non-see-through glasses?
Sometimes I have an opaque glass. Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes
Like
I'll drink out of
frosted
opaque
one.
glasses. I have a nice frosted Asahi glass.
Yeah.
Where'd
you get that from?
I
Did you
borrowed
pay
it
for
from the
that?
sushi restaurant. I told them I'd return it. Never.
I hate sushi.
No,
It
I
would definitely
love
be
sushi.
over a year.
Over a year?
Yeah, I would definitely drink a beer that's over a year that's been in a fridge for sure.
I would too. It's got to be an incredibly light beer. I don't want anything with any kind of. I need it to be extremely filtered before it gets into the can. I don't want any. Yeah.
I would probably do 2 years. 5. I've been mulling over 5, and 5's just a bit. 5's a bit. 5's a bit dicey.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone on this
Nice.
podcast has probably had a beer 5 years old.
Yeah, I probably
no,
have.
Let's
Yeah,
get real.
Oh,
Like,
100%.
come on
Nope.
now.
I probably have, and I just didn't know it. You know.
That's my point. Like,
Yeah.
No, I think my limit's like 2. I think that's what I've noticed a 2-year-old bear, and I'm like, screw it.
I'm going to send
That's
you
your
all a
snob.
bunch of 2-year-old beer. Some
All right.
2-year-old
Oh
beer.
yes. Speaking of sending beers, I got to hold up my hand to the bet, even though it's
Yeah,
not a
you-
beer; it's an energy drink.
Well,
Send me
they
your
make
address.
beer too, which
Oh.
is weird.
I know.
It's a Carabao beer. It sounds like the worst thing ever.
Wait, that's a thing.
Yeah. Is that like a Four
Oh.
Loko?
No. So I told someone this before the game.
that's a
That
valid
they
question.
thought that it was like a mixed. I think it's just a beer. It's not like I think
Yeah.
it's just like they've energy drink over here, beer over here. There's no cross.
Same company?
Separate things. Yeah.
Same company though.
Same company. The glasses look kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like the beer glass. Carabao Energy tastes like Red Bull.
Yeah.
Like it just exactly like it.
Yeah, I don't think there's much tinkering with those kind of recipes.
Mhm.
It's all taurine and something.
Taurine,
Sugar.
guarine.
It's
Pouring
a different
some
Caribou.
biotin.
It's a different company.
Nah,
Prove it.
They're probably all the fucking same.
they were both advertised on the advertising boards at the Carabao Cup.
That's a strange coincidence.
I did get the biggest it was the most natural laugh I've ever heard when I saw in the FA Cup the Prince will walk out, and
Yeah.
I saw at the beginning I see these like 4 very well dressed Asian guys walking out on the field. I was like, what the hell's going on right now? Why do these guys have an escort? And everyone's like, who are these people? I'm like, and they seem so happy, and I'm like laughing, and I'm like, it's Carabao. Carabao's here. It was perfect. They were there's 4 of them just shaking every player. They got to shake the captain of Newcastle and Liverpool's players' hands.
It's like when Salt Bay
It's
was out after the
perfect.
World Cup final.
Oh my
Yes.
fucking god!
Yeah, that God. Remember? Oh God.
I knew Steve would get a
Oh,
reaction.
that was so
there.
cringy. Yeah. Oh God.
Triggered.
What a fucking douche!
He is. No, that is.
Just like
He is a douchebag.
what a
Steve.
douche!
Literally.
He's gonna be at the World Cup halftime show in New York.
He's not a thing anymore. I feel like.
Yeah,
Thank God.
yeah. They put him on
Yeah.
Salt.
Yeah. Ugh.
See what he did there.
Yeah.
This is completely unrelated, but regarding
Let's go
to
for it.
Manchester United,
Paulie P.
you know how Gary Neville does the overlap, or not the
Yeah.
overlap, stick to football. Well,
He does
they did
both.
both, but
Yeah.
he just recently had a pretty long interview with Sir Jimmy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ratcliffe.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about it last time where he called his players worthless.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how Gary and Jim got on in that interview. I didn't see it myself, and I was curious if any of you have seen it.
I'll
Yeah,
look
I
that
mean,
up now, but like I didn't know it was
Gary
that
Neville
full.
It's like an hour long, or like an hour 15, something like that.
You know, I got that to burn. Get right on
Gary
that.
was, you know, he was very pushing him a little bit on like the like Man U, you know, how they cut like the staff lunches and things like that. He was like, you know, of all things, like we're like one of the, you know, most top grossing revenue clubs in all of the world. I think they're top 5. And it was like we can't afford like sandwiches for the lunch lady. You know what I mean? And that's when Jim was kind
Jim's
of like
nah.
Jim was like, no, we can't. I mean, literally, like if I didn't put in these measures, and I mean, this is all his claim, but if I didn't put in these measures and like make these cuts and all that kind of stuff, then we would have been insolvent by Christmas.
Scratching his head. He's like, what the fuck was that?
Fucking man.
Yeah, Alex?
Yeah, that's terrible, man. That's
Yeah, it
awful.
sucks, yeah.
And that's also just not true. Like they
Yeah,
could have probably
wasn't that
reduced.
bad.
They couldn't get the grant funding from the government to like maybe reduce the size of the giant tents that they're gonna have.
Right,
They'll
but then
inevitably
literally
fall.
the next day after that overlap episode,
Yeah,
they
they're like, hey,
announced
we
a
can't
$1 billion
feed you.
stadium.
We cannot afford to feed you, so we're gonna build directly next door, dissolve our club. They're gonna do what Rangers did, dissolve their club business name, and then start fresh. Bald
Wait,
move.
did we speak of did we either just mention it or mention it last pod about Sir Alex Ferguson being like told to like please leave as the consultant?
Oh,
He's
he's
being
been
paid
banned from
two
the
or 2 or 3
clubhouse.
million a year.
Yeah,
He's
that was
being
in that
paid a-
interview as well. And he
Right?
kind of
Yeah, I didn't know if we'd
explained
already
how-
spoken about it, but yeah, that's
he explained how like Sir Alex was approached. He approached him and was like, "Listen, this is what's going on," and Sir Alex, made the decision himself. You know, probably heavily guided.
Yeah, they're like, hey,
yeah,
Al, Big Al, it's
Yeah.
time to.
yeah.
It's probably time to sit off into the sunset. We can't have you yelling at the lunch lady anymore.
I saw Sir Alex had his first his horse won his first race at Cheltenham races, so good for him.
What's his horse's name?
I don't
Bex.
know. Yeah,
Giggsy.
Yeah.
Giggsy.
I think he had a weird affinity for that guy. Yeah,
Left-footed
yeah,
dog. Left-footed
Wouldn't
horse, should I say?
yeah.
Toe.
Skulls.
All the Spice Girls.
Anyway, yeah, the new stadium. What do you think, Ben? You down for it?
I'm hoping that the rendering is nothing like the final project.
It's
one of
there's
those
no
things-
way it's not.
And like I know we don't always like to talk about American sports, but like it kind of reminds me of Fenway Park. Like
Mhm.
baseball had this whole thing where all these old stadiums kind of refurbished. You got to think like Comerica Park or Tiger Stadium, Comerica Park, and it's kind of like the way of the world. You need to update your facilities. You need to have a world-class facility. You need to have a world-class venue. But in footy, like the genre, it kind of appeals to like that historical piece. And Alex, you probably remember when the old towers from Wembley got knocked down. You know what I mean? Like that was a whole thing, or it's the end of an era. And I kind of wish it was happening when United were on a good foot instead of a bad foot.
Yeah.
Because
it could be one of those things that it could be really ugly, and not aesthetically, but like
I think
it could just be like
the whole thing,
clubs not
right? You
doing
got
well,
you got to remember the
crumbling.
construction project's going to hit that community, it is truly a community club. Like it's in a part of town that's not really. Granted, you have a lot of people traveling to go to Old Trafford, but like you can park in houses and get to that stadium, sort of thing. And I think it's gonna be an ugly eyesore for probably 3 years. I think because of the gravity of it, it'll move quickly. It's just odd. The funding source for it appears to be like federal funding. Like, you know what I mean? It's coming from the crown, which doesn't sit right for some reason. But at the same time, you know what they say when your team is as bad as Man United is, you got to blow it up and start all over again. So that's basically what they're doing. Yeah, I got mixed feelings about it. I'm hopeful that it brings a new energy, kind of like Arsenal saw after little Highbury went away, but it took them forever to get back.
Yeah. I mean, all I think about is just what happened. Not to go back to the Carabao Cup, but
wins once.
Yeah, right. You know, Gary Neville on the commentary was saying, like, after Dan Burns scored, and was like, I've never actually felt Wembley shake. And it's like the old one did.
That's not true. There was like a recent time in history where people broke into the ground during a game and it was overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So either you weren't there.
Yeah. But England lost that final.
Yeah, I'm with you. It shook when the game started. Like,
right, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, the press are saying that Eddie Howe's the best English manager of our generation, or his current generation. Mm-hmm. I think it's a little too early for that talk. He wins.
Who said that? That's crazy. Who said that? I feel like someone on here said that. That's wild.
I said it. I shared it earlier.
Yeah.
Name anyone better.
Southgate.
Southgate.
No,
I mean, he's pretty good. He knows how to get he's a good tournament manager. Always thought that Southgate was a good tournament manager. Knows what it is to lose.
Gary Neville.
Phil Neville.
Phil Neville. Is he still banging around in Portland? Yeah.
I will say I did watch, just really quick. I don't know why I get these videos recommended to me on YouTube. I need to do a cleanse. But like I got like a Joey Barton narrated video. Like it was like someone was like asking him a question. You know, we can only guess what kind of podcast he was on. But he was talking about Gary Neville. And it's like the most correct thing he's ever said. He was talking about like, yeah, I don't have a lot of time for Roy Keane or Rooney. They don't like me that much. But I have a little bit of time for Gary, even though he's still a expert. Yeah. But he was just talking about like his time in Spain set English coaches back in Europe like 50 years. He won like what was his record? I think he didn't make it even half a season. I think it was like 3 months. Won
it was like more than 9 games or something like that.
Yeah, I think he didn't win a game. Yeah. I think he drew a few times and lost everything else. And it was funny that both the Nevilles, just the most English looking men of all time, wearing Villarreal tracks. It's just I saw it. It just made me laugh because Joey Barton's such an ass. But he was like,
Joey Barton's like one or 1.5 features away from being on a Andrew Tate podcast.
If he's not already, if he hasn't already been on there.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. I am next week. Looking up some statistics on like other English managers. Yeah. This is a record season for the least amount of English managers in the Prem of all time. And I don't necessarily have an issue with that or an opinion of that, but it's an interesting statistic.
Eddie Howe, first English manager to win a domestic trophy since Harry Redknapp in 2005, Portsmouth.
That's pretty ridiculous. Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, we'll get into Tommy Two Chains' England call up and whatever, dissect that. It's fine. But there's certainly a realm of people that think that Eddie Howe kind of got passed up for England manager, but I don't think he really wanted it just yet. I think it's an option for him later down the road, but I don't think he wanted it just yet. I think
he's too young.
Like I put in the P chat, like he's always saying that, like, he never won anything as a player down in Bournemouth and things like that. That it's always kind of been something that's a light underneath him to try and get some sort of win under his belt, which he's now
got 13 years. He's got 13 years until he's in the England helm. He's 47. He needs to be 60. That's a 60-year-old Englishman's job.
I think like 2 years.
I think I think he wants a big trophy. I don't think he wants all of them, but I think he wants one more trophy, and then he'll be.
Sounds like Alex is starting up like an old timey car.
I was gonna say it sounds
Alex
like
is
those really
currently-
old like registers, like
You know those air sprays to clean your keyboards? He's got one of those going. He's got a little bit of dust in there.
Dude, sounds like he's got some old little tinker toy that he pulled from his granddad's shelf. It's like you gotta like flip like 3 switches and it starts walking around.
He's on a typewriter.
I had to let my dog out. He's like over
okay.
here whining at me.
if we have
It's his
time.
birthday tomorrow, man.
We have time, Steve. Let's get some feet going.
Unboxing.
Let's do some foot
We're
stuff.
gonna have another unboxing.
Oh, we can do that
It's
now.
not
Yeah,
not
sure.
the 26th of December, but let's have a Boxing Day.
All right,
All right.
we
Foot
have.
stuff with Steve.
This is the
Oh,
regular.
let's
So,
go. Oh yeah.
so do you guys remember the details that were in that limited collection box? How it opened
we
and
allowed-
whatnot, right?
Can I interject real quick? Are we allowed to review what's on your cork board?
I was kind of looking at that. I was
Yeah, we should
peering
come
at that
back to
earlier
that.
actually.
Yeah,
I
we're
don't
coming to that next. Just as
I don't think you want to.
Is there a pinup? Is there a pinup of a woman in a bikini on there? Is that what I see?
Is that a
No.
picture of me?
Is that
What?
Also,
why do you
no.
have a picture of me?
how did you get that picture of me? I've never even met you.
This segment is brought to you by ADD.
This is just a standard. So this standard edition pair of Preds.
Idea, yes.
You see that these boxes are just kind of like the standard. I think pretty much every. Oh no. Oh, it says Adidas football here. So I guess I was
that's
gonna
pretty
say
sick.
I think it's every box, but that's not the case. So, all right, spring bag as a custom with the elite level boots, black and
Oof.
red.
Sick.
I'm into it.
Oh,
No one cares. The print.
instructions.
The print
T's
is
and
a lot.
C's. We need to read the
print-
T's and C's.
Print's a lot different. This one's just like standard. It says Adidas football Predator. It does say Predator, so it's got a little bit of touches in there. Here are the boots, the piece de resistance. This is the stealth victory pack. Let's
pretty
get the
cool.
tongue engaged here. All the way forward. You know how it goes.
Go ahead, Nate.
Yeah, this is what was initially ordered, but the other ones came by mistake.
I like
Um,
the silver.
I like the silver a lot. I didn't know that Adidas at the time when I ordered these, I didn't know that Adidas was doing well, no, I did know about the Moments one, but I didn't really want I wanted to get as close to the black, red, and white without getting a special edition boot. And this is, I mean, it's gotta be the closest. Doesn't have a big red tongue, but I think the colors look really sharp with these. I think these boots look mean.
I feel like a
yeah.
red tongue would go farther.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's the boot.
Y'all have like a side chat going on.
Yeah.
Hey, for you listeners that just didn't hear what Steve is kind of sharing, he is currently showing his size 9.5 boot.
Yeah.
Size 9.5 Adidas Predator, the Stealth Victory colorway. This is not one of the on feet colorway that you'll see the pros wearing. Like all of the contracted athletes with Adidas will be wearing. I forget what the other color pack is. So this one's not going to be for their contracted pros, but you might see this on a few people, but not the headliners.
Like U10s.
Yeah. But yeah, I think they look sick. I don't
Those
know
are
which
fresh.
one I'm gonna keep. But God,
Steve, what do you think of the 3 stripes ending?
what does that mean?
I like at the tip of the 3 stripes, right? I feel like it's an abrupt end. Yeah.
No, I like it. It's wavy. There's like you can kind of see the wavy. There's like a ribbed texture in the upper, and like it's kind of like got a wave motion, and
I get that.
the red goes like this, and the stripes kind of mimic the same motion. I think it all looks. I think they really smashed it out of the park with the design of this boot. I think it looks amazing.
Obviously, those still have the tags on them. Have you test driven?
Never even put my foot in these yet.
I want to know if there are studies out on like ankle injuries in boots.
We talked about this real briefly in the P chat. There's definitely there are some studies emerging now about the injuries that women um, incur whilst wearing men's boots. Like these
Yeah.
boots will say, like every pair of boots from just about every manufacturer will say both US men's size and the US women's size, knowing that for the most part, there's women either wear men's boots or it's just the men's boot with like a women's colorway, and then that's like the women's boot. Like a women's foot, I'm not the topic expert on this, but the studies are showing that the demands of the women's foot in terms of like footballing aspects is different than a man's foot, like just from how the foot.
I recall the study you're talking about, and it had to do with the stud placement needed to be in different placement in places to support female athletes.
There's a few different pieces of it. Yeah, there's a few different pieces to it.
I would want to know vapors versus preds. Who gets more broken ankles?
And it honestly, you'd have to go by the model. It's not just the silo of the boot, because like for example, like one Predator could be really great, and then the very next model is just a strike. You know, it's not good. It's a strikeout or something like that. Like, and if you just did the silo as a whole, I think your data would not be wouldn't be very indicative of anything. I think if you chose like a particular model and went over the calendar year or the lifespan of the boot, and then went also the same model for a vapor or superfly, mercurial, whatever model you want to choose there, I think you would get more concise data. Because I'm sorry.
Relevant data?
Yeah, more relevant data. Like for example, like a few silos ago, they had the Predator Edge, which actually I have a limited edition model right below me. The Predator Edge is like unanimous for being the worst Predator model like they've made. Like,
what's it called again?
Predator Edge. There's only like three Predators ago now.
Feel free to share your screen, but yeah.
Like from the fit to the upper to the feel on the ball, like everything about the boot, everybody hated. So I think like if you were doing Predators as a whole and doing data on that, you'd have outliers, and I think it'd be more interesting to see like the actual boots themselves versus the silo. Does that make sense?
It does. For me, what I'm referencing is the reintroduction of the tongue. Because I feel like the tongue is the driver. You're welcome. Is the driver of the ankle injury. Because you pull it down in a way, and it's not up tucked in against the ankle.
Yeah. Yep.
Thanks, Nate. Appreciate you.
Sorry, I had myself muted. I didn't know how loud it was opening like a bag.
I'm curious, like, do you guys tie your boots on top of the tongue or under the tongue?
I always did it underneath the tongue, and I used to actually try and in my best way to mimic Beckham. I used to not use the top
shave like
eyelets.
A mohawk, and then
no. Like of all the eyelets that you can use in the boot, I would not use the top ones so that I could get my tongue down further to go. You know what I mean? Because he would always go to that front.
Did you break your ankle?
No, I've never. Knock on wood. I've never had an injury
like Spice Girl. No, okay. Asking for a friend. You see me walking around in like Preds next week.
But yeah, it would be interesting. I think it'd also be interesting too, because like Vapors, I think are by far the most popular boot, especially in the women's game. Like if you go see youth women's football, like pretty much of any high school age, everybody, I would say of a starting 11, you probably have over 50% comfortably wearing mercurials. Whether they're superflies or vapors is up for debate, which is really just the difference of a collar. It's not that much of a difference. But the boot is the Nike Vapor, or the Nike Mercurial is what they're wearing. I would even go so far as to say like 65%, with the remainder being like other Nike models, whether that's the GX, the Phantom GX, or the Tiempo. They have like that GX Luna. The Luna was was Nike's attempt at making a it was a women focused boot. But it is by far Vapors, or I'm sorry, Mercurials, as to what like the women's wear, for example. And guys wear them a lot too. I mean, it's very popular boots. I would say probably the most popular boot since like popular boot regardless of brand.
Yeah.
Since its inception.
Do you
I
walk
just want
into
to
like
say real quick that Nate hasn't been allowed to watch women's high school soccer in quite some time.
Yeah, we're probably not going to cover that though on today's episode. Steve, when you
That's
walk
crazy.
into a
That's something
box
crazy to
chain
say.
sports
That's
store,
wild.
you walk into like a Dunham's or a Dick's Sporting Goods, are you just unbearable to go into this shoe section with?
Oh, I thought we were still coming.
George's.
All right.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to answer that question.
Like, you walk over
I
there and
definitely
just
like to.
critique all the rip-off boots they have because the heel plates aren't right?
I'm sorry.
Did you just walk back there and like critique all the boots?
Yeah.
In the
You know,
section?
remember that place I told you about? That plant. What was
George's.
that called?
Georgie?
Soccer?
Is he?
I would have been a pain if I had any company with me and we had errands to run. We'd have been late for all of them. We probably wouldn't
The
even got
day's
to
over.
them because
Day's
I spent so
ruined.
much time there. Yeah, the day was over. The day was over.
Yeah. If you had a child, they'd
Um,
still be in the store.
Yeah, that place was a museum, and I
We should meet there.
Yeah.
For tea and biscuits.
I think it'd be
and
interesting to
let's
just talk to that guy. Just sit down
Up
with a
down. Go get him,
cup
George.
of coffee and just
How'd
be
you get
like,
involved,
George,
man?
yeah, how does this still?
I guarantee you a boat.
How has the
involved.
world
There's a
continued
boat
to keep
involved.
spinning, but you stopped spinning back in like 2000 and like X? How did you do this?
I don't want to abruptly change subjects, but Steve, I appreciate you doing your show and tell. Next week we will be talking about the corkboard.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Alex, do you want to talk about Newcastle winning a trophy?
I did. It's great. It's wonderful.
All right, good. We can move on. All right, cool.
Thank you.
Nate, is Liverpool going to choke?
No.
Oh,
You sure? Because didn't you guys crash out of Europe last week?
Yeah.
And
That
then
was
lost
a
to
good
Newcastle,
game.
who haven't won a trophy
was-
since 55.
Yeah.
55.
Yeah, we played pretty bad.
Fun.
I was not happy with the showing. I was happy with the showing. The first game, PSG was a good game. I thought we played well. I really wish that donkey from Uruguay didn't have to take a penalty, and I also wish Curtis Jones didn't have to take a penalty because right when I saw Allison giving Nunez a hug, I'm like, oh God. I'm like, is he in the first five? I'm like, oh, I'm like this. I'm like, no. This is they're talking about something, and then I was like, oh, he's missing this. And he did.
Do you guys want to do where are they now?
Sure. Did you while we're pulling that up, did you guys see the teaser from Puma? I think it was on Twitter, probably other places too, but I saw it on Twitter. Puma's teaser of the soon to be unveiling of the Premier League match ball, which will be debuting next season. It had like the Barclays lion, and it was like on top of a Puma ball, roaring type of thing. Nothing that alluded to what the ball may look like. And if you comb the internet, I still can't really see.
not gonna be anything like this, is it?
No, I mean honestly, the panels, you see those stitches in there. Every Puma match ball, the panels look like that. So I think, I really hope. I mean, I'd love to speculate about this, and I could talk about this for a really long time. But if you look at the match, but like Puma currently does the match balls for both La Liga in Spain and Serie A in Italy. If you look at those two match balls, I don't know about you guys, but without even seeing the emblems that say Serie A and La Liga, you can and without seeing Puma, obviously, Puma match balls are so distinct that like you can clearly tell that they're Puma balls. They don't do anything special for each independent league. There's no wow factor in it for me. And like you could say the same thing for La Liga and Serie A when it was all Nike. Because remember, the Premier League, Serie A, and La Liga, they used to just have 3 different color balls. Like it was like the blue one that year for the Premier League, the red one for Spain, and I don't know, a black one, something purple. I don't know. So you get it. But if you like, as of late, the match ball for the Premier League has been like really individualistic the past few seasons. Like
Mhm.
the past like 4 seasons. I'm looking at a timeline here. 5 seasons. They've really gone like in every direction in terms of designs. And I hope that Puma, in really trying to put a stamp on finally having secured, I don't know how long the contract is, but securing being the ball provider for the Premier League, I really hope that their ball doesn't look like every single other Puma match ball that they make. I hope it's different. I hope it's special, unique. I don't know what direction they'll take it in, but I hope it's not just extending their current lineup of, do you know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
just, I don't know. They just look so boring to me. They're just so,
Yeah.
Yep.
so boring. I don't
Game's
know.
gone.
We'll see. The EFL ball is a little bit different, but
Ben, I know you brought it up. I have a pretty diabolical. Where are they now? But you are the one that brought it up, and
Do you
usually
want to
the
do a
one
double
that,
header?
the one that smelt it dealt it. So you can, if you want to go ahead.
We should
I'll,
do a double header.
Who's going
yeah,
first?
sure.
Okay.
Who's going first?
I don't think you can hang, but whatever.
Ben, you go ahead, and we'll see how it goes.
Hey,
Who's gonna
I'll go
sing this?
first. Where are they now? Thank you.
Where are they now?
Appreciate it. This gentleman is a footballer.
Oh,
Great.
I need to
feel like
spend
you
some
pick-
time like
feel like you
capturing a
picked
good
French
audio
one.
for that.
he's French.
He's not French, but he is a footballer.
Well, boom. He's German.
All right, so are they a
German.
he?
Yeah.
They, yes.
Okay. Are they European?
No.
American.
Are they South American?
Yes.
Okay.
Diego Forlan. Because that was almost one of my picks.
Is it? You haven't said no yet.
It is not.
Okay.
Way off.
Ben loves the spotlight. Ben loves when everyone's like, it's like you would be a great storyteller host.
Has this person won the World Cup?
Yes. Actually, I do not know that. I answered that with an utmost certainty. I have no idea.
Bro,
Brazilian.
scroll down to honors
Yes,
on
Alex.
Wikipedia. It's going to take you about 6 scrolls.
Alex just asked an excellent question.
What?
Was it? Did he win a World Cup?
Yeah.
Are they Brazilian?
Brazilian. Yes, they are
Okay.
Brazilian.
Roberto Carlos.
Ronaldinho.
Nope.
Cafu.
Current player.
I'd love to know. Okay. All right. Oscar.
You didn't pick Neymar, did you? There's no way. Is Oscar still current?
Yeah.
Is that guy still playing his
He
trade in
plays. He
China?
plays in. No, he plays in Brazil now.
Hmm.
Yes, he plays in Brazil. Are you
so
looking
they're
up if he's
gonna-
won a World
so
Cup?
is
Or am I
he-
just never
is
going to
he
get the answer to
current-
that?
So when you say he's current player, he currently plays in their national team, or he's a Brazilian player that currently plays?
I think
He has
that's
been
it.
brought out today based on that exact thing. That is like the current
that mean?
news you would know him from.
Us.
Like
He's-
international player not playing.
That was the most bizarre way to answer that question.
I don't know how to answer that.
That sounded like I was listening to a different language.
Yeah, sorry. That was not great. I was trying to
I
read
cannot
the
wait to go.
time.
What timestamp?
we can
38:20.
We'll
I'm
just edit
so
that out.
excited
Thanks.
to go
Appreciate it.
listen to that tomorrow morning. That is going to give me the best laugh.
Yeah, cool, Nate. I really appreciate it, man. Go play in traffic. To answer your question, I don't remember your question.
Has he won a World Cup? This will
No.
help. Okay.
That's what I was trying to read and talk about at the same time. So I appreciate that.
Lucas, is he an attacker?
No,
Oh,
Is he in the news today?
it
Gonzo.
might be if you read the news.
Gonzo.
is it Gonzo?
He's
Is he a
another one I
goalkeeper?
thought.
He is a goalkeeper.
Julio Cesar.
He has the most. He has the fewest saves. In the
I
Premier
forgot
League.
about Julio Cesar. I forgot
Yeah,
about
I
him.
saw a highlight of him the other day. I was like, holy shit.
Is he playing?
QPR.
Fewest saves in
Oh.
the Premier League right now.
Well, I was going to say, wait.
I'm not going to get this. I'm not going to get this at all.
Does Southampton have a
Ederson
Brazilian?
and Allison are the only two that I can think of, and I don't have anything past that.
I think it might have been one of the ones you just said, Steve? No, okay.
It can't be.
I don't know. Unless is this
Unless
gonna
I
be a second
genuinely
string
didn't hear
keeper who's
you.
played like 3 games, and so that's why
No,
he is
this
that.
person's playing a lot.
Played for Liverpool.
Just withdrew from his international duties.
It's not Allison.
It's not. It's
Ederson.
Ederson.
Oh, that's what he
Did you
said.
say that?
Man City. No,
Yeah.
I said
I
Allison.
apologize, Steve. I did
Oh.
not hear that. My bad. That's pretty funny.
Nate's like, I think it was one of those two. And
I
he's
didn't
like,
hear
nope,
you
it's
say
not.
Yeah, my bad. My B. Anyway, I hate both of you. And
That was the best one we've ever had. That was the
pretty good. This is probably the best segment of all time. Aren't you glad you went today, Nate?
Why is he in the news?
He pulled out of international duties, and he's
a
basically
bum.
in the chopping block at Man City, and I think they don't want him to go play international.
I heard Casper Schmeichel the other day on UCL CBS be like, he's better than Allison. What a cinder block brain thing to say. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I mean,
Man, you won, Ederson.
I like Casper.
I like Casper too. I like both Schmeichels.
Casper Schmeichel's amazing.
I just thought that was a really, I mean, if my keeper ever got dropped for Steven Ortega and wasn't injured, there would have to be a conversation to be had. So
I feel like he is starting to like get the brunt of the blame for Man City.
No, dude, it's all PGM, MOL. It's all Liverpool, dude. Dark arts.
Ederson.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for letting me play. I'll never come on the show again.
I'm so excited. To 38-20. Chat, clip it. Where's Cheesy?
Was there something else that I wanted to?
Well, hold on. Nate's got to wear they now. He's
Where
gonna
nice.
are they now?
Boo.
All right,
We
I
can
got
get-
one. I got like 2 right here, and I think, yeah, I'm gonna go. Oh shit! All right, I'm gonna go with this one. This is a little less diabolical. He's a man with a name. That's all I got.
Okay, are they currently playing?
No,
Have they won a World Cup?
no, but he should have.
No, you had it right the first time.
This is
He
embarrassing.
should have. Okay.
He
Is
should have.
this person European?
Yes.
Eastern European.
Did he play in a World Cup final?
Yes.
German.
It must be German then.
No. 9. Nicht Deutsche.
Who played in the
French.
2018 final? It was
France.
France and who'd they beat? Argent? No. Was it? Netherlands?
Damn.
It is
Why is
crazy.
that?
I do forget World Cup finals a little too easily. Someone was asking me the other day. I was like, I can't even remember who. I need to watch the YouTube comp.
Epic
Really
way.
genu-
bad tech numbers.
Croatia.
Whoa, I forgot about that.
I don't think was that even a good final though. I feel like I remember it was
No,
not a
it wasn't very good.
He played with
Last one was
Zidane.
good.
He's German, right?
No, this guy's not German.
It's French.
I said 9. I said 9.
Oh, my bad.
My
bad.
guy.
Did he play with Zidane?
It's not French. Did he play with Zidane? No.
Is he Spanish?
No.
He's played in a World Cup.
So we haven't
final.
nailed down the nationality yet, correct?
No,
No,
and so
he
that's
played
why I
in the
didn't
Prem?
go. I'm glad I didn't go with the more diabolical one. He has played in the Prem, and I always forget that he played there. Like I can't.
Not most
I
of
don't
his
even know if
career.
I've seen a picture of him in this shirt.
Is this person Portuguese?
No.
Oh, I just had a gut feeling. I had a gut feeling.
Who,
That was
who,
yes,
who,
I was
who
about
did
to
you want
dive
to
in.
say? Who'd
Is
you
he
want to say?
Italian?
Deco. I was gonna say Deco.
Deco would have been
Dutch.
good. Or
Is he Dutch?
Cedric. What'd you say, Alex?
Is he Dutch?
Yes.
All right.
There we go.
There we go.
Right,
You
there
know
it is
I
down.
love my Dutch boys, guys, men.
That's too late.
And you said
I'm
you
clipping that.
forget
That's my
that is
ringtone.
is
Yeah, go ahead.
it is it
Look
Is
for
it
a
Van-
44-10.
tit for tat, baby. Let's go.
Rafael
Someone asked me a
Vandervaart?
question. Someone asked me a question. I'll answer it like Ben.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tit for tit.
Tit for tat.
Rafael Vandervaart?
Oh no, he was almost a selection. I know. I
Did he
liked
wear
him a
goggles?
lot. No, it's not Edgar Davids or whatever.
So this guy played in the 2010 World Cup final.
Yes. We got to narrow down now.
Okay, all right. Does the team that they did play for in the Premier League
Mhm.
a top 6 team?
Yes.
I have an idea in my head. Did they play winger?
No.
You would have said yes. Okay. All right. It's not the person I was thinking.
I'm sure. I'm sure at times.
It drifted into it. Are they an attacking player?
Not really. No.
Did this guy play for Liverpool?
No. He's not the Energizer Bunny. I thought
No,
about
I thought about somebody else.
about Dirk Kuyt. No.
Oh, they were Ryan Babel.
Ryan Babel. I like him. I like him too. I don't think he played.
He
was in
sometimes
that
played
squad.
on. He sometimes
He was
played
in
on the
that
wing.
squad. He was definitely in the 2010 squad. I'm like 99% sure. He did. I don't think he. I don't think
All right,
he.
all right. More questions.
Yeah.
More questions.
Come on. Yeah, come on.
When did this
Van
person?
Bronckhorst.
Yeah, that's
Did
it.
this person also
Yeah.
retire
Bronckhorst.
in the Prem?
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of wanted to like cut down the amount of guesses you guys. You can't have more than like 9
Yeah,
guesses.
we could probably do better around
Did
that.
this guy retire in the Prem?
No, but no, he didn't. No.
Keep it going, Steve.
Close. You're on the track. You're on the scent, Steve.
Just think of that match.
Yeah.
Think of who started. Number 5.
Did we confirm? Wait, do you know the answer?
Yes.
I might.
Well, then fucking say it.
He did.
Oh,
Van Bronckhorst.
oh, he said
So,
yeah.
I really don't even want to say the other one because I wish I had gone diabolical.
I heard you say Van Bronckhorst. I didn't hear him say yeah.
Also Dutch.
Yeah, I got a little affinity for the Dutch national team. I don't know.
What Premier League team did he play for?
You ready? Arsenal.
Yeah.
I do it. Wouldn't have guessed that.
Raise your hand if you have ever seen that man in an Arsenal shirt.
No,
I've never seen the picture of that in my life.
Didn't he win like an FA Cup with them or something?
Yeah, dude, he was a part of the. No. So he was not so during the Invincibles, he was on loan at Barcelona. How about that?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Oh, that sucks.
That's a yeah, but it does suck. You got to be
Yeah.
a part of the Invincibles, but
Yeah.
So
Was that the year that Barcelona won the Premier or the Champions League though?
I'll tell you. But the reason I picked
I think so.
Giovanni is because I got that goal versus Uruguay, where he just pulled up from probably about 40 yards out from the corner, like the corner of the 18-yard box plus 30 yards. I mean. And then the next goal after that in that game was Forlan with like a 30-yard goal. That ball was ridiculous. That javelin. That ball was so stupid. All
He has 41 caps there.
He won the Premier League with Arsenal. He won the FA Cup with Arsenal, and he did not win. He did not win. Barcelona did not win anything that year, 2003, 2004. So that was a tough.
Was that the year? Remember the Chelsea-Barcelona game where Ronaldinho scored that ridiculous goal?
Oh, and then Iniesta had that goal too. Didn't Iniesta have that garbage time? But it was after that. Like it wasn't like a handball or a foul or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was 2003.
I think I think Lampard maybe scored in that game too. Yeah, but where is he now? Probably on some.
Isn't he a manager?
He was the manager of Rangers, and I was really, really pulling for him. Now he's at Besiktas. I wonder if he was involved in a scuffle recently. Yeah, I know. Personal life. He has won. He has won the Order of the Cross of Orange Nassau, which is like, I don't know, some high civilian honor. Not as good as the Ebony Boot that Fellaini won, but yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's worse.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, we're going to talk about that Belter over the weekend.
No, I don't want to talk about it. We're 13 points. We're 13 points ahead. 13 points ahead. 35 points or 35 goal difference. I think winning that game would have it could have.
It was still blue. I think
it could have won the. I think it could have won the league before the split, which would have been pretty crazy.
It would have been, but it wouldn't.
What a weekend that was!
But I'm not too worried about it. It is a bummer.
It's a great goal. Just acknowledge the goal. It was a good game all around.
Yeah, it was pretty. It was an entertaining game. The first half was pretty poor. We were down 2-0. I think down 2-0 at halftime, and then came back 2-2. And then that last ball, I mean, the lead up to that goal, there was a goal kick. The goalkeeper had the assist, I think, because I think it was Carter Vickers who goes up to jump it, completely mistimes it, and then Johnston's behind him, slips. It's like, fuck me, man. Just comedic. Like inability to deal with the ball in the air is how that guy scored that goal.
Yeah.
Which is annoying because if you see it, Carter Vickers goes to jump, completely mistimed where he was and mistimed his jump, sails like 4 feet over his head.
I'm not playing one starter against Rangers. Like, I just wouldn't even bother.
You got to win that game, Steve. Now you know how I feel when Everton celebrated like a World Cup final after they tied. Right. And I literally looked at the table. I was like, let's see if Rangers have a chance. No.
The season's over.
The season's done.
Did you see? I forget who the player was. He started for Rangers and then got subbed off. He was the white dude who was bald. He scored. Yeah, he scored and just ran outside the dugout and just sprayed all the Celtic fans with water, and they all got furious.
Like, what happens? Well, I guess Scottish.
Started a professional water fight.
What was I gonna say? Celtic, 13 points. Oh, I swear to God, if Daisen Maeda, if his end product was any better, his market value would be it would be at least 50 mil. It'd be 50 mil. If he could strike the ball, or if he could strike the ball, or if he could like cross the ball, 50 mil. That guy runs more than I've ever seen anybody run and pressures people that he has no right in pressuring. And he forces so many errors. And no defender likes him running at them, not because he's like immensely skilled, but because he's so fast, never stops, and you don't really know what he's going to do because I don't think he knows what he's going to do all the time, but he's just doing it live, and it is. I just wish it was just a wee bit better. I love that man though. That guy never stops working, and I appreciate hard work because that's the only thing that you can do.
Well, what's that video of like, I don't know what club it is, like this guy's interviewing this old guy outside of a stadium after a match, and he's like, how did you feel about that? And he's like, he starts crying. He's like, he just runs so much. He just presses.
I haven't seen that.
He just does so much for the bench. I gotta find that. It's just like, you just love it all. A proper Englishman's like, he just runs his heart out. I gotta find it now. I'll put it in the chat after this.
That's funny.
Yeah. I like Maeda, Steve. I like Maeda.
Dude, I really like that guy.
I like him
really
a lot.
Humble, and he just works so hard for the team, which is just what every fan wants to see. So
now you know how I feel about Endo, dude. I'm literally considering getting an Endo shirt for next year just for the laughs.
Do it.
Love that guy. God, he's just amazing.
Do it. Shut up and do it.
Don't tell me what to do.
Well, we don't have a trash take, so
yeah, real quick.
Oh, shit.
The scenario that we brought up and never talked about. Premier League: Liverpool, Arsenal, Nottingham Forest, Man City all qualify for Champions League as the top 4 teams. 4 teams in. Newcastle qualify for the Champions League in 5th because UEFA is going to award an extra place for English clubs' performances in Europe this season.
Coefficient.
Yeah. Brighton would qualify for Europa League by finishing 6th. Bournemouth would finish 7th and qualify for Europa League as well because if they won the FA Cup. Chelsea finished 8th, qualify for the Europa League by winning the Conference League, which is like all they're focusing on right now. Aston Villa finished 9th, qualify for the Champions League by winning that competition this season.
there is, I would be freaking, I mean, they've got to get through, I mean, the winner of one of the Madrids versus Arsenal, I think. I think that's that side. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Manchester United or Tottenham finished 10th and qualify for Champions League by winning Europa League. So in this scenario, I think there's 7 teams in the Champions League.
Wait, Chelsea, isn't there a – well, wait, that's all Champions League, right? That's all
In
Right.
this example above, the Conference League place earned by Liverpool or Newcastle for winning, the League Cup could not be allocated to any of the top 10 teams, as they would all have qualified for another European competition. It would therefore go to the team in the next highest Premier League position, 11th.
Corner.
I got
Man U could come 11th and still make it.
Man U and Tottenham could both make Europe, is what you're saying?
Dude, that's you,
Yeah.
Ben. You don't want to make Ben. You don't need to be in any competitions next year. You don't.
Nate, if
United
we
still
knock
have
you
that
out
weird
of
pull.
anything, it's all matters.
United still have a weird pull where you can sign a good player. Like 1 out of every 4 or 5 players can still be a big name. You don't need any extra games next year, dude. You just don't. You need.
Right.
You have a great opportunity to make Ruben Amorim look good by only having domestic games. Yeah,
Nah,
if
bro.
you,
That's the didn't Wolves do that? What was that guy? Nuno? Didn't Nuno have a stint like that? And then he got fired
guy.
2 years later?
That guy Nuno,
Yeah.
currently crushing it.
Yeah, now,
And
but didn't he
also-
get fired?
I also hope that we don't see United become another Barcelona. You know, they're already in financial trouble. Oh, hey, we're going to tear down the Camp Nou. And
Yeah,
now we've
goes
got to
back to what I was
activate the
saying.
third lever.
That goes back to what I was saying about the funding source for that is kind of wild. Because the funding source is basically a premature bailout.
Steve's gone.
Yeah, he waved. He actually did the Nixon peace sign. Just throwing that out there. Can we quickly touch base on the bottom of the Prem? Because
It sucks.
they're done.
No
like
relegation. Yeah, it's
Southampton-
over. I think. Yeah.
Southampton are out.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Leicester
like 9 games left, I think.
8, right? Yeah, you're right. 9.
8 or 9.
Leicester, Ipswich, both need to win out. And if Wolves win one game, it's pretty much done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and which sucks because there's not going to be any. I mean, there's not on both ends of the table. There's no final day stuff. It's just going to be for top 4. But like now, what Alex
Already
just said,
unhinged.
top 4, it's top 5. It really, it's we're going to have to wait till May. We're going to have to wait till like June.
Yeah.
Possibly, or depending on when certain teams go out. But I don't know. Is it?
It's kind of a wild table. Like it's rare that the top 15 teams are so close together.
Yeah.
Top 16 teams.
Yeah.
Championship-esque.
Yeah.
Champions League-esque at this rate.
Yeah.
That's right. England squad. Dean Henderson, Jordan Pickford, Aaron Ramsdale, James Trafford. This can be our trash takes, which is the worst.
He's got a
Defenders,
small
Dan
farm.
Burn, Levi Colwill, Mark Gay, Reece James, Ezri Konsa, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Livermento, Konsa, Kyle Walker, Jude Bellingham, Eze, Jordan Henderson has made the squad.
That's the.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to call that the worst one, but
Dude,
like
Jordan Henderson is related to the royal
Ooh,
family.
I love these England kits. Holy shit! Whoa,
Yeah.
these are really, dude. Look at that texture on the shirt. That's insane.
Curtis Jones, Cole Palmer, Declan Rice, Morgan Rogers, Jared Bowen, the potato farmer, Phil Foden, Anthony Gordon, Harry Kane, Marcus Rashford somehow, and Dominic Solanke.
You know what? Hot take here. Out of, I think Solanke.
Yeah.
When's the last? I
can
mean,
see it.
dude, what a top heavy season. I mean, I don't really. I mean, I can't tell you anyone who I'd rather put in there, but like Curtis Jones. I like him. I don't know if he's. I feel like these friendly caps they get, like I don't think they should. I don't know. They should still count as caps, but it's so different than getting a cap in a game that matters, like an elimination game, a group game. I don't know. Ezri Konsa, maybe. I mean, I know Villa have been good, but I mean. Dan Burn doesn't have a picture on the website. Oh no, Burnsy, mate.
Doing my guy
He's
wrong.
down the pub for the game.
Yeah, where's why? First off, this is the first I'm seeing this list. Marcus Rashford.
Yep.
But
Bro, he's gonna tear it up against Albania.
is
on
is
Friday.
Tuchel been watching?
Yeah, it's Latvia.
Tuchel is
Albania,
like, I
right?
haven't been to one game. He's the only name I recognize. Like,
If Tuchel can't beat one of these teams, should he go?
Yes, he has to beat both.
Yes.
I think you guys just want him out. You guys don't like him. I can tell. You
I
guys
don't like him at all.
I'm not a
Don't like him.
fan of the choice, but I don't think he needs to go yet. I just
This is anti-German discrimination.
Get him out of here.
I mean,
Yeah, I think Ben was calling for his head last night. Zero games managed, 0 goals conceded,
was that last night? Or
0
this
goals
morning?
scored.
My days are
That was
blending
last
together.
night, I thought.
That
Yeah,
being said, I
know,
just
mine are too.
said he was not cutting it. He was like telecommuting. I needed him to go to work. Hasn't been in any games.
Work.
What was I going to say? Where is your what? Okay. I'm looking for one thing. Make sure I have
we
this.
should look at U.S. men's national team. How them boys doing?
Christian Pulisic is on fire right now. I mean,
Is he?
Nations
I don't.
League
I've
semifinal.
not had a pulse on his performance.
he's having an unbelievable year with AC Milan.
Yeah, USA is going to play Panama on Thursday. Nations League semifinal. Pumped.
Yeah, it's
It's like 8 teams. It's like the Scottish Premiership.
Charlotte FC's Patrick
Agyemang,
Agyemang
and Tim Ream.
and Brian White.
How old's
will
Tim
be
Ream now?
Old.
American Dream.
Gosh, I remember.
37.
He's aged really, really well.
37 years old, killing it.
I think he's about to move to center back for Charlotte because we just signed another left back. So the old Dan Burn, the old chess move, castle your king or whatever. Yeah.
You know what I was listening to the other day is Berhalter's breakup playlist on Spotify.
I think forgot we made that. Good times.
I think genuine question, and Nate, you're probably more educated than me on this one. And Alex, if you've been paying attention, feel free to chime in. But as a diehard US fan, is the coach going to solve your problem?
It's a very very open-ended question. I don't know.
I figured yes or
A
no.
very
question.
astute question. I mean, I think I do think he could. Yes.
I think he could.
I don't really know I don't know what the problem is really. I like Pochettino's play
a couple problems.
He made Tottenham look good. That should be in and of itself. That's a trophy. So
you got a participation trophy.
He got Tottenham to the Champions League final.
Yeah,
I know their side of the bracket wasn't.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't. No,
I agree with you.
I think he's a good manager. I don't think there's a lot of attitude problems with the team. You have the Gio Reyna thing. No one talks about that anymore.
I don't think the players are the problem. I think there's politicking. There's backroom politicking. That's the problem. Like I think it's like I'm going to call it a board, but I think there's an issue in the back room somewhere. And the Gio Reyna thing's kind of proof of that. Like we had a player's mom calling in and complaining about the coach. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, but and he's not getting played, dude. He's not getting played at club or country. So maybe.
I think he's good. I don't think he's that great.
I think I like him.
I think he's all brand and no skill.
Yeah.
But I think this team, like Weston McKennie, is one of the best players that I think in recent history for the U.S. men's team. I don't want to take away from Pulisic or like Clint Dempsey, but I think McKennie is up there. And like Berhalter just dropped them for like breaking COVID rules, basically.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I feel like they have good talent. And I just maybe a player's manager is the right answer here, but I wonder if he can tune out the noise of the backroom problems.
I think he can. I like him.
We'll see. Loses to Panama 5-0.
The key is just getting them all on board, all together.
Same page as well.
Good.
Yep.
I think we just saw that, to go back to the Carabao Cup with Newcastle. I think that there was a huge problem with Newcastle at the beginning of the season. They didn't know
how to spend money.
No, they just like they all came together through the relegation fight, so they were kind of bonded together then, and then they went on this crazy season, so they were all bonded through that. They went through Champions League, cool, and then after that crashed out. They were just like, what are we doing? Who are you? Like, are you staying? Like, are you gonna take like a lot
Yeah.
of money like to go somewhere or whatever? And the start of the season was just was rough. I still think there was some that went on over the summer, chemistry wise. But this Carabao Cup run has kind of pulled that together for me. Be interesting to see. I think they play Brentford as their Premier League match. It might be very helpful that there's an international break right now, because I was going to say my trash take is whoever Newcastle plays next, they're going to lose. Like, there's not going to be on
That's
a
pretty
mental
funny.
state to be playing anybody. But 2 weeks away, 2 weeks away, I think they'll be okay. But
Talking
that's-
about someone other than Newcastle, I think Nate, the U.S. men's team likely need a home base, which looks like slated
Charlotte.
to relocate to Atlanta, right? Or not Atlanta,
Atlanta.
like the Atlanta region in 2026. But I think the U.S. team needs to find an identity and stop being like this touring like show. And I think
We're going back to the Central Stadium.
yeah, I think that's
Idea?
the answer. I think you need a Central
Cincinnati.
Stadium. I hate to say it this way, but like knowing where you're going to sleep is probably like one of those like 1% better things you could do as a team.
Yeah.
And when you're consistently never having that home field advantage when you're home, what are you doing?
So is it DC? Is it Atlanta? It's
probably
got to be East Coast. There's no way West Coast is out of the question.
I'd go Atlanta. I feel like the weather there is the most reasonable, and I feel like the facilities
It can be hot as dude. I don't know. I mean,
But Mercedes-Benz, for example, is an indoor stadium.
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Right. You can make that work. I think the facilities are there. I think I hate to say it this way, but the airport set up for it, I feel like it's a good hub for the sport.
Charlotte does not have the airport.
I hate Charlotte Airport.
Thanks. I hate you too.
I've been stuck there like 4 times.
I've never been stuck there.
Every time it's a thunderstorm.
Once.
But Charlotte Airport is not meant to be a hub. It's not big enough to be a hub city, but it is a hub city.
Yeah, Alex is actually a huge airport nerd.
The county, was it Mecklenburg?
You nailed it.
Mecklenburg County gave the airlines some tax break on the fuel, so it's cheaper for all the planes to fly in there, get fueled, and go. That's why it's a hub. That's just good business. Just good business.
It's standing on business.
Queen City.
Queen City standing on business, dude.
Is that St. Louis?
No.
And it's actually, speaking of very briefly, Cleveland. I'm sorry, who did we play over the weekend?
Yeah, Cleveland call themselves Queen City too.
Yeah, but wait, who did we, so we played
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. We played Cincinnati. Yeah, they call and like I think we have a great record against them. We always beat them. We're the Queen City. So.
Was there a King City?
I don't know.
Newark.
Yeah,
definitely not.
All right, y'all.
All right,
I'm done.
Pip cheerio.
Hope you guys had a good weekend.
Yeah, it was fun. Weekend.
Weekend.
This is a laughy, goofy, giggly podcast. So I loved it.
There's a laugh track. Steve somehow fitted in a boot review.
Yeah.
It's been wild. Good.
Why was he wearing socks?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's on that board? Find out next week.
Yeah, find out next week.